Okay, so we are back with part 2 of our, part 2 of, because we downloaded one the other day on Monday, so this is the second one. So part 2 of our staycation vlog, I guess that's what you can call it. So I am Taisha Presley. You getting naked for the people?
No.
So I am Taisha Presley. I am the owner and the lead therapist of Legacy Empowerment Services here in Charlotte, North Carolina. I work with adolescents and young adults who have experienced some type of dysfunction and are seeking to rehabilitate their lives. And I have a partner that is joining me for day 2 of our staycation vlog, and his name is
Kingston Harvey.
Kingston, and you are
your son.
My son. Don't we look alike?
Yeah.
Yeah, we look just alike.
Don't forget about our skin color.
Yes, our skin color is different, but we look just alike. So bear with me a little bit because I've been trying to record to Instagram a little bit more because I wanted to just see how it goes with getting people on board with checking out my content. And so, but today I decided to video it because I wanted to keep the video so that he can see it when he's older, duh. So anyway, we have been, first of all, Kingston, how have you been feeling? This is day 3 of our what I'm calling a staycation. This is day 3 of our staycation because Mecklenburg County is moving towards sheltering in place because of the coronavirus. So we've been home from school. I've been, of course, working from home, and Kingston has been homeschooling. And so, Kingston, check in with the people. How have you been feeling about our staycation because of the coronavirus staycation?
I'm kind of bored because of the homeschool stuff.
Because of the homeschooling stuff?
Yes, and in the house spring break. So you're just making me do stuff like it's spring break.
Oh, okay. But I will say, Kingston, because the way that we have our staycation structured is that we have an academic day where we do just straight math, reading, handwriting, speech therapy, science.
I don't like the academic day.
He doesn't like the academic day. Mommy loves the academic day. But Kingston likes our application day. Our application day is a little bit more loose. We get to go out and play a little bit. We get to do more project-based activities, and he enjoys that much more, correct?
Yeah, and if you guys are knowing, but I'm actually not going to go outside for a long time because of that smell. Pollen.
He's not feeling the pollen smell. Okay, so yesterday on our academic day, we decided to we did a project together. And our project was to go shopping because we had not been shopping yet. Even though we're moving towards sheltering in place, we had not been going shopping because we were just kind of thinking that things were going to work out, I guess. I don't know. We were not panicking, taking things seriously. But we decided to go shopping yesterday. So our project was to work as a team and to develop a grocery list based on meals that we were going to eat at home. And how do you think that project went?
Pretty fun because I met somebody from my school.
Yeah. So we had to kind of work together to solve problems.
Yeah.
And we had different ideas about what we were going to eat, right?
Right.
You thought we were going to eat things like pretzels and chips.
No, I meant for snacks.
For snacks.
And also, you forgot
pizza.
And you forgot the macaroni and cheese.
Actually, I got some today. Ooh. And I wanted to be more healthy, and so we had to learn how to compromise. And so all of that is something that was really helpful for us to do. We do that on an ongoing basis, right, Kingston?
Right. And we got my favorite and two of my favorite vegetables. Broccoli and celery.
Broccoli and celery.
You forgot that I like celery.
Yes, 2 of your favorite vegetables we were able to get. Okay, so when we walked into the store, I was completely thrown because I was not aware of how panicky people had gotten because of this coronavirus. So we went to a major retailer, and when we walked in, we were not expecting that people were fighting over toilet paper and fighting over food, and that there was no food at all. And that was a complete shock to us. And so it really made me get it. It really made me understand that people are really in crisis right now. And it made me think about just the level of anxiety, just kind of for everyone just going out of the roof. And Kingston, we talk about this a lot about how anxiety or just being nervous sometimes is completely normal, right?
I don't even get scared.
Sometimes do you think that being scared or being having anxious feelings, is that something that's normal, do you think?
Yeah.
And so what do you think are some things that makes you feel anxious or nervous?
Someone that says I promise, but really they don't, and then they do it for like, let's say 200 years.
Yeah. And so having a crisis in your country is something that is really scary, and it's really out of the norm, and it makes you feel like you can't control anything. And I think that's where a lot of the anxiety is coming from the fact that you feel as if you can't control anything. But I wanted to just make sure that in this video we talked about how to be mindful of cognitive distortions or just unhelpful patterns of thinking, because thinking like that is not really good for your mental health, right? And we also know that when you freak out or when you panic, it really lowers your ability to fight stress. It really lowers your ability to fight off a disease. If it were to come attack, it kind of lowers your immune system. So magnifying things, just making things out to be bigger than they are. And what I like about what's happening right now is that the government is starting to do a lot more. Have a lot more news conferences where they're discussing, what's happening in our country, where they're kind of problem solving and helping to lay out a plan for us, and it makes us feel a little bit more safe. But be mindful that there are things that you can do to help manage the curve, is what they're saying. One of the biggest things is the social distancing, which Kingston doesn't like as much, right? Can you want to tell them what social distancing is? Do you remember?
Actually, I kind of know.
So social distancing, when you have to stay away from people.
Yeah, and we never do it, and we're supposed to be like
6 feet apart. Well, we're safe. We're okay, right? Because we haven't been near someone that has the coronavirus.
What happens if you do have the coronavirus, but you don't know?
Well, we're gonna have to make sure that we stay safe and watch for symptoms. And what do we do? What were some of the other things that we're supposed to do that we can control? They can't see you. What are some of the other things that we can do that can help control the virus?
Wash our hands.
Wash our hands.
Drink water.
Hand sanitizer.
And not really. And if we really wanna eat anything, well, it won't be vegetables either, because the coronavirus here on vegetables.
Yeah, so just making sure that you cook your vegetables, because that cooks the germs out of it, right? You clean them and cook them, okay?
Don't forget some germs like being hot.
Huh?
Some germs like being hot.
Yes, that's very true. Okay, so one of the things that really was striking to me, that really came up to me yesterday, was Maslow's hierarchy of needs, which is this big old theory in psychology that kind of describes human behavior. And one of the basic ideas that Maslow had was that people, when they are not getting physiological needs met, they go wild or go crazy, or just kind of stunts our growth. And so you want to make sure during this time that you are making sure that you have the food, you have the water, you have warmth. There, like a lot of the companies, even utility companies right now, are suspending disconnection notices, which kind of helps us to get that need met. And one of the biggest things on Maslow's hierarchy of needs is making sure that we get rest, because rest helps us to think, rest helps us to function well. And so making sure that we are getting adequate rest, both the mommy and the kiddos.
You know what happens sometimes? Like sometimes if I stay up like the whole entire night, I can I can still function good. I can still do that good.
Well, you're not functioning at your best. Let's say it like that. So you may be able to still function, but the more you don't get rest, the less you're able to function as well as you normally could. You get it?
Don't.
You don't get it? What don't you get about it? Or you just being funny?
The only reason why I don't get about it is because whenever I do that, like, I can actually function really good. I can I can do math very good. I can even read that good.
So what if you stayed up for 25 days straight without going to sleep?
No,
so you think
I don't do that.
But do you think that you'll be, or somebody that stayed up for 25 days straight without any sleep, do you think that they will be able to function as good as they should function or could function?
They're gonna go like another day without it.
They're gonna be sleeping all over the place. They're not gonna be able to think, right? Right. Okay. So we agree that we need rest.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can only stay up for like 24 hours, not like a whole entire 25 days.
Oh gosh. Okay. So the next one in Maslow's hierarchy of needs is safety. And the biggest thing right now is security, physical safety. And we know that we're physically safe because we're in our homes, we're sheltering in place. But I think that it's really important, especially for parents, to make sure that they're emphasizing emotional safety. Emotional safety. And one of the biggest ways to emphasize or make sure that your child feels emotionally safe is to make sure that you yourself are staying regulated. And so what that means is that mommy and they're not seeing mommy and daddy panicky. They're not seeing mommy and daddy stressed out. Or if they see you stressed out, or if they see you maybe feeling overwhelmed, that they see you also identify a solution. They see you also working through a problem so that they can see because basically what you're doing is that you're modeling for your kids how to handle life, because sometimes life will have crises, right? Sometimes we're going to have to experience some really tough moments. And so what we want to do is make sure that kids know how to handle those tough moments. And so when they see you doing it well, when they see that you're regulated and that you know how to problem solve and you know how to manage a situation, it gives them the strength and it gives them the tools that they need in order to do the same. And so that helps with emotional safety. Also, something that me and Kingston try to do often is to have our check-ins where we just kind of talk, right, Kingston? Do you kind of like it when me and you have our talks about how you might be feeling, what you might be thinking, what you might be needing? Do you like when we do that?
Like we have.
Like today, for example, when we had our talk about how you're feeling about certain things that may be happening in the house. They can't see you. Do you like when we talk?
We never.
Like we're talking right now.
We never.
Are we talking right now?
Yeah.
Okay, so when we're in the car and we're talking.
Yeah, I like
when you come to my room and we're talking.
I like it.
You like it? What do you like about it? Tell them.
Talk.
Look at them. Huh? Tell them.
To talk.
You like that we get to talk?
Yes.
What do you like about it?
That whenever we're talking, we get to talk about stuff in our minds.
Stuff that's in your minds. Is that very important to you?
Yeah.
I think it is. Because sometimes kids have really strong thoughts and they have really strong feelings about things that they're experiencing in their world. And if they never have the opportunity to let it out, then it kind of stays stuck, doesn't it? And they're still trying to figure it out. And so mommies and daddies get to help them to figure out life by just having conversations with them, right?
Right.
Very good. All right. So the next one is love and belongingness. So connectedness, staying connected. And that's really hard. It can be challenging when we are supposed to be socially distant. But social media is a beautiful, beautiful thing where even though we are apart, we're still kind of feeling like we're together. And so I've noticed that there have been people using Zoom and using the using platforms like Facebook Live and Instagram Live and YouTube to host video conferencing with peers, same age peers. So, for example, Kingston can connect with some of his friends on Zoom or on video calls.
I can't connect them with my friends anymore.
We gotta get in touch with them.
I want to ask person to get on Roller Snake so we can play games together.
Yep, you can play games together.
But
I don't know
if he has that computer.
Yeah, that's true. They have to. So you both have to have the same type of software, right?
No, it goes on everything.
Oh, it goes on everything. Okay. And so one of the good, cool things is about maybe talking to grandma, talking to aunties and uncles, via video conferencing, which is a really good way to make sure that you are staying connected. And also, even though we can't go you can't go within 6 feet of people that you may not know. It's really cool that you can actually go outdoors. Like tomorrow we're gonna try to go hiking really early in the morning. And that helps with remaining connected even to the world, because sometimes you feel like you have to be stuck in the home, but no, you can actually go outside and go for a walk. Just make sure that you're staying the appropriate distance from people. So esteem, so feelings of accomplishment is what I have on my notes. So one of the things that we have been doing is doing mini projects around the house, and I think that is something that can help children or kids and even grown-ups to have that need for esteem nurtured. So for example, for grown-ups, if you can take this time to clean out your closet, to declutter, you can take this time to, if there was a spring project that you wanted to work on, now is a good time to work on that spring project, because that's going to help raise your esteem. It's going to help raise all those good feelings that you might that are there that need to be nurtured. And for kids, it's the same way. So he's going to be doing some science projects, some smaller scale school projects that we'll be doing. And so he will have that chance to experience that sense of accomplishment that helps to nurture that need that Maslow talked about. And the final one is self-actualization. And so I just labeled this one, get on your grind. And so everyone has a purpose, right? Everyone has something that they're working towards. And now is the perfect opportunity to take time out, since all we're doing is staying in the house for the most part. Now is the perfect opportunity to take time out to actually work towards those longer term goals that you've been putting off. And so if you wanted to go back to school, if you wanted to write a book, if you wanted to learn how to do something new, now is the perfect time to start working on those projects, those self-actualization projects, so that need can be met. So Kingston, we talked about panic. We talked about how to handle panic in this epidemic that we're going through, like a boss, based on the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, which are physiological, safety, love and belonging, esteem, and self-actualization. And so what are your thoughts about where we are now? What do you think needs to happen now at this point, Kingston? I'm going to interview you.
I think I shouldn't have any school because I have an early spring break, and it's like spring break, and it's I think I should have a I think I shouldn't be in the homeschool, because like
he's trying to get out of this homeschool. Y'all see that, right?
Homeschool.
Nobody. You're gonna have to be stop homeschool.
Stop.
Because you know what? Here's the thing, Kingston. So why do you think we are having? Do you think we want to torture you? Do you think that's why we have you doing homeschool?
No.
Why do you think mommy and daddy want you to do homeschool? Why do you think that's important?
Because you guys just want me to do it,
you think we just want you to do it? There's no other reason that it could be.
And because I have spring break, and guys go like, Kingston has an early spring break.
No, okay.
Let's make it work.
So let's think about this, because do you think that if you didn't do homeschool, that you would be able to go back to school and still be where you need to be. Be careful that you'll still be where you need to be at school when you go back to school.
Yeah, because I'm a math master and I'm ready to
You
take
are a
my
math
class.
master. You are a mathematician. But we want you to stay a mathematician, right?
I can still stay a mathematician with only just doing math and doing nothing else besides reading.
He is seriously trying to get out of this homeschool.
I hate the homeschool and
No, we have to do homeschool. We have to keep you up to date, okay? But let's agree on this. We will try to be very creative
okay.
in how we do it. Is that a deal?
Oh damn.
Is that a deal?
But for,
how do you think we can be more creative in how we do homeschool?
Once the second week goes by, then I don't have any homeschool.
No.
You said
No.
you said the do, and that means and I accepted the do. Which means you just made the do. So thank you.
So the deal is
Thank
hold
you.
on. The deal is that we can be creative. So the deal is, okay, how can we be creative to meet your needs and to also meet mommy and daddy's needs?
That's pretty much for you.
Well, we're gonna meet in the middle. Okay? Let's shake on it.
But here's the deal.
Let's shake on it. We gotta shake on it, buddy. Come on.
Here's the next deal. In 2 weeks, I don't have to go and
we're gonna have this conversation offline apparently because we have to come up with the deal, okay? But thank you for joining us for our Instagram post tonight, and we may come back again
For 1 year.
maybe next week again to check in, see how things are going, see how our coronavirus staycation is going, and just to check in. All right, say goodbye to the people.
Bye.
Thank you.